Everyone, please take a good look at your screen. This young man goes by the name of James Cooper. If you want to know more about his case and the circumstances surrounding his mysterious death or suicide, as the police are calling it, please continue watching. This young man, James Cooper, recently moved to an area in Mississippi, and for some reason he didn't feel too comfortable with the area, and he was telling his mom that if something were to happen to him, just know that he didn't feel too comfortable with where he was. But the strange thing about it, he had just moved to this area 2 weeks before he was found dead. And for some reason, the police are now classifying it as a suicide, according to Chief Deputy Billy Barber. And he says that the Washington County Sheriff's Office Department is investigating a death that occurred on May 10th of this year, 2023, as a suicide, because at around 9:22 a.m. that day, authorities found the 23-year-old James Keon Cooper hanging from a tree in the 1000 block of Metcalf Road, and the case is still under investigation, so they won't be able to give out too much information, even though he said he can't stop the talks that are going around and that are going on Facebook as if it was a cover-up. But I think that something does not sit right here, because why would this man move to a whole nother state and commit suicide there? But his parents are kind of giving the implication that it was suicide when the detective talked to them, because they informed him that James had gotten into an altercation with his girlfriend at the time, and they believe that this may have led to his apparent suicide. But I call it a hanging because of pictures that I've saw. There's a particular picture where his hands were bound with zip ties. Now, I don't know anybody who's going to bound their hands with zip ties and then, hang themselves. I think that most people would just, do the normal thing when hanging. But yet again, this case is not normal in my opinion. Now, like I previously stated, the detective said that James Cooper had been reported missing since Monday, May 8th, after he had gotten into an altercation with his significant other, which I'm thinking they mean his girlfriend here. And family members became concerned when they did not hear from him and they could not get a hold of him for a couple of days. And that's when Deputy Barber said that when authorities arrived on the scene, there was a bag with his clothes and other belongings inside of it, and some of his belongings were strewn about on the ground in the area near his, body. And his body has now been transported to the state crime lab in Jackson for an autopsy. The Delta Democrat Times, which is this article that I'm reading here, they say they'll follow up on this story. But I honestly think that this particular case, I don't think this is an actual suicide. In my opinion, it looks like someone literally hung this man and tried to make it look like he, offed himself. I just don't. There are a lot of things to me that don't add up about this case, because if he had been missing since May 8th, why did it take them so long to find his body in the area in which they did? That leads me to believe that somebody already knew where his body was, and they just went back to make sure that A, he was still there, and B, that he possibly was still deceased, to make sure that they finished off the job. Because sometimes people like to go back and look at their quote unquote handiwork that they did. And I think this is one of those cases and one of those times where this is what happened. But I would really like to know, why was this young man unalived in the manner that he was? Did he upset somebody shortly after moving to that city and state? Did he already have beef with somebody that was living there? And was that why him and his significant other got into an altercation? Is that why he went missing for 2 days before he was found? Did he owe anybody any money? Just all these things come to mind. And, maybe it was just someone who saw a crime of opportunity to murder someone and make it look like they, harm themselves. And they just took advantage of what was in, what was in front of them at the time. And I hate to think like that, but it just doesn't seem to me that someone would bound their hands and then, hang themselves as they're saying that it looks like he did. I just don't get that. I know that normally, like back in the day when lynchings and hangings were a thing, they used to tie our hands together so that we wouldn't be able to undo the rope while we were, hanging, just in case it took us a long time to pass away. And I think that maybe that was what was, done to him, but it was done with zip ties, because, you can't cut zip ties off of, yourself. And last I checked, it'd be kind of difficult to put them onto your own wrists or hands. But unfortunately, guys, that brings me to the end of this video. If you like this video, please don't forget to leave me a thumbs up. Don't forget to leave me a comment down in the comment section below. And if you're not subscribed already, please make sure you subscribe, because that helps me out. And until next time, guys, thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.